We've always had room in our hearts for film and TV, not just on Netflix, but tape and disc and theaters. Also, God forbid that they take it all away and leave us nothing to broadcast to loyal listeners. We'll binge watch every single movie, so you don't have to. What else are we here for? Coming to you every week. Listen to us while you're busy. Luckily, we forgot to grow up. Hey everybody, it's Craig.
Hey, it's Scott.
Hey, it's Andrew.
Welcome to episode number 102 of the Forgot to Grow Up podcast. I told you last week I was going to do Disney sequels. Guess what? We're doing 102 Dalmatians.
And that is it.
That's the only one we're talking about. We don't have enough memory space to talk about anymore.
Exactly. I've got on my hard drive. I have about enough room for 5 minutes of conversation, and then we're done.
Yep.
So, bring it on.
102 Dalmatians.
I think I saw it once.
The same here. I can't even remember really what the premise of that one even is. Besides, exactly the same as the first
I vaguely remember there being a puppy who has no spots, who gets a spot at the end.
That sounds vaguely familiar.
Or is that just a live action of 100?
I was going to say that could have been that one. It could also have been like See Spot Run for all I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Been too long.
Yeah, definitely. But there are a lot of those Disney sequels that are definitely very forgettable.
Most of them straight to DVD.
Yes, so many of them. Like Mulan 2. No idea that existed.
Yeah, Mulan 2, that one, all of her boys, they find some love with doppelganger chicks.
Oh, okay, that vaguely sounds familiar now.
They cover a lot of yin and yang in that one, I believe.
Okay.
Where, like, Mulan and... what's his name? General what's-his-face.
Yeah, I know you're talking about. His name.
I think they each have, like, a yin, like, one's yin, one's yang
necklace.
And then, like, that's their whole thing is, like, oh, you know, we're trying to work as individuals, but we need to be a team. We need to balance each other. Like, I think
very
that was the premise.
Like, that seems like very basic stereotyping of, like, Asian culture.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
It's just very like, oh yeah, we're gonna write a story, but like we're gonna make a sequel. What are we gonna do? Just pick the yin and yang. It's like, okay, guys, like, can we do a little research on, you know?
You know what? I'm gonna go on
history.
record and say that Dalmatians are shit. No, what I'm gonna say is Disney. They have a real bad habit of dropping like legendary movies. And then just get real fucking greedy and try to milk that tit for everything it's worth, which is awful sequels. Because I'm scrolling through the IMDb Disney sequel list, and I'm just thoroughly disappointed.
Because there's just every property.
I'm sure they made a lot of money. They were just really crappy.
Well, yeah, like, all straight to DVD or like family or their like family ABC channel stuff, like. Yeah, I get it, but I know what you mean, Andrew. It is very kind of like disappointing, like especially when it's like there's so many. It's like none of them got like saved from it. Like even the Hunchback of Notre Dame, it got a second one. Like what? Why?
You know what? That one there was something Hunchback related. I'm not sure if it was the Hunchback of Notre Dame 2, or if there's like a separate one. No, you know what? I think it's a separate movie where like Quasimodo turns into an angel. I remember watching that as a kid.
What?
And it, like at the end of it, like he like jumps off this cliff thing, I think, and like his hump is actually angel wings, and like wings spread out of his hunchback, and all of a sudden he's
this doesn't sound
angel.
like I don't know if this is a real movie, man.
Dude, I watched it as a kid. I'm gonna Google it now. Hunch.
I don't mean to question the memory of your younger self.
How dare you?
I'm not. I
You know what?
I was just saying I was trying not to, but that does sound very far. It was
called The Secret of the Hunchback is what it was called.
Is it Disney?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Honestly, do you remember those like animated Star Wars movies that were out as kids?
Okay, yeah.
Like there was an Ewok one and then one with like the Rebels or Pirates or whatever it was.
Yeah.
That's the animation it looks like. It looks real cheap.
Okay. All right. Then I'll believe you. I believe you. I thought you were trying to say that there was another like Disney one, and I'm like, I don't think that's.
Well, I wasn't sure if it was this one or the other one, but it turns out it was the other one.
That's fair. But yeah, it is kind of like even Hercules didn't get saved from it, which is a little annoying because it's like, wait.
But you know what? His sequel is more of a midquel.
Exactly. That's true.
Zero to Hero. It was the stepping stone for the. Bless you, my friend.
Thank you.
It was a stepping stone for the Zero to Hero TV show that came out.
Yeah, exactly.
So like that one, I'm almost willing to give it a pass because it steps into something else. But I don't give it the pass.
I feel like that's what most of these are, though, too. Because like
there's a fair
all of them have
amount
had
of
animated series. Like Lilo and Stitch had an animated series. I'm sure the Dalmatians did too. And
Tarzan's official sequel was Tarzan and Jane, which led into like the Tarzan TV show.
I feel like that's a big thing of like all of them. Atlantis had a second one. What?
Yeah, that one I didn't mind. Kendall fucking hated it.
But
so
well,
this one,
I can see there's a dinosaur.
Milo's return is all the gang comes back to visit. They don't even use the same animation from the first Atlantis. Like they cheaped out.
Oh gosh.
They got some bad animation going on. So they come down and they visit, and they're like, "Hey, Milo, how's it going? Like, Mr. Whitmore or whatever wants you to come see him." So they go up, and it turns out that there's like stuff going on the surface world that like they can help with. So like him and Kiragakash Nagash Kira or Keto or whatever the fuck her name is. They
Keto?
go
I like that.
Kiragashnash. They go up and what do they encounter? One of them is the Kraken, I believe. They deal with the Kraken in this small like I want to say it's like Norwegian town, but I don't know what it is. It's some small middle fucking nowhere town where the Kraken is like possessing this guy who's going and like kind of like fucking around in the town. So they get rid of the Kraken and then all of a sudden the town's saved. The next one is some indigenous in like the middle of Nevada or something like that. Like native culture where there's this guy who's like trying to like find this ancient indigenous like burial ground and take the stuff because it's worth money. And there's this native guy who turns into like ghost coyotes who like spooks everyone off. And then like the group comes in, they're like, "No, we're just trying to save it." And he like uses his magic to get them out of wherever they were. And they're like, "Thank you, we respect you, bye." And then the last one is Odin, who finds out that Mr. Whitmore, I think it was Mr. Whitmore, has like Thor's hammer or like Odin's staff or something like that. And like his ravens break into the house and steal it, and then he like tries to bring about Ragnarok.
What? When did Norwegian stuff get involved with Atlantis?
Or not Norwegian, like Norse or whatever the fuck.
Well, yeah, that's yeah, I know that's what I meant. Like, but when did?
Well, I guess that is Norwegian, but yeah, like it's just like they have like similar writings or something. I guess I don't know, but they have to come do it. But then at the end of the movie, spoilers if you make it through this piece of shit movie, they decide that Atlantis needs to join the world again. It's time. So they raise Atlantis up from the depths of the ocean.
Okay. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it was not great.
It doesn't sound great.
However, I'm looking at this list, and there's only like 3 movies, that get 6. Okay, there's 6 movies that get passes from me. 7. Okay, so we got Hercules Zero to Hero, because I actually fucking love that one.
Okay.
Because they cover the Grim Avenger, which is the story of what's his name? I can't remember his name. He's the guy who tries to take down the Minotaur in Greek mythology. Prince. I want to say it's like Theseus, but I'm not sure if that's right.
Yeah, I can't remember this. I'm so
Anyways,
bad with the
so
Greek
that one
names.
gets a pass from me.
All right.
Next up, Stitch the movie, Lilo and Stitch 2, and Leroy and Stitch all get passes because I love me some Lilo and Stitch. Okay, these ones don't make you cry like the first one does. Actually, you know, Stitch has a glitch, kind of makes you cry for a minute, but the rest of them are okay. Fantasia 2000 gets a pass because who the fuck doesn't love beautiful music and crazy vibrant videos?
How is it? What's that? So wait, there's Fantasia, then there's Fantasia 2000. I've always thought that those were the exact same thing.
No. Fantasia came out like whenever the fuck it came out.
Yeah.
But then Fantasia 2000 was 1999.
Are they different?
Well, there's no story, if that's what you mean.
Oh yeah, that's part of what I mean. Like, do they both have the broom scene, the like Mickey?
Actually, you know what? I think Fantasia 2000 actually does redo that. Like, I think they remaster it.
Okay.
But all the rest is like original stuff, and it's just phenomenal. Like, it just beautiful colors, and the music like plays perfectly in with the stories. I'm pretty sure actually like the hosts of it are still like Penn and Teller or something like that.
Okay. Sorry, I'm looking at the original right now, and I'm like, I don't know if I've ever actually seen the original, if I've only ever seen Fantasia 2000.
I definitely haven't.
Okay, so what am I at? I'm at 5 there. Okay, no, but Fantasia and Fantasia 2000.
Well, no, yeah, no, I wasn't arguing that part. I was just, like I said, I thought they were the same thing. I didn't realize that they were two different things. I thought like 2000 was like the updated, like they just re-released it. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like that's
kind of like how they do with all like the Cinderella movies every couple years. They're like, here you go.
Yeah.
We went into the Disney vault and we remastered it.
Yeah, exactly.
Or,
I thought it was something
here's
along
Star
those
Wars
lines.
25. It's the same fucking movie, but you get to buy it on DVD now instead of just VHS. You're like, what? I own the movie 4 times. Why would I buy it a 5th?
Exactly. So that's just where my
Greedy
confusion
fucks.
was. So that was interesting to learn.
That's fair. So number 6 that gets the pass is an extremely goofy movie, because that movie I watched it as a kid and I fucking loved it. It gets a pass.
Love it.
It has some catchy ass music. You get to watch them all as teenagers. You get to watch Goofy go through like a life altering change, going back to college and falling in love with a beautiful librarian.
I think I like that one better than the original.
You know what? I like the music from the first one, but the second one is definitely story-wise. It definitely resonates a little better with me. But I think that's because I was never like, I want to go see a boy band. So it just never really affected me that way. I just like the music. But an extremely goofy movie, it was cool.
I definitely remember actually more of the extremely goofy movie than the Goofy movie. Now that like we're just talking about it, I'm like, oh no, that's the one. I thought that was the Goofy movie. Like,
so a Goofy movie didn't stand out, eh?
Well, it's more like I just thought they were one and the same, I guess.
Oh, that was just
Again?
a bad joke, because that's the song I was talking about.
I gotcha. See, that's how
Goofy
far in
movie.
the past it is for me.
Awkward. So next up, the only sequel I'm willing to give a pass to is Lion King 1.5.
That's all of them?
Because that movie is 4 times better than the original Lion King, and 17 times better than the Lion King 2 Simba's Pride. Like, dope name, because it plays on 2 different words, or the same word twice, 2 different meanings, but also, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I remember when Lion King 1.5 came out, like all the commercials and stuff on like every Disney VHS for them. But that's pretty much my only memory of it.
It was awesome. So good.
Can't argue with that.
I think Kendall and I watched it on like our 3rd or 4th date.
I think we need to stop though for just 1 second. I'm seeing that this list is trying to tell me that 101 Dalmatians was the sequel is called 101 Dalmatians 2, not 102 Dalmatians.
Wait, I'm sure that 102... I think 102 Dalmatians was like the live action, because there's no live action ones on there.
No, and so yeah, that's the thing. We were looking at this list that was just made by some random person on IMDb. So like we weren't getting any of the live action ones, because there's like the Pirates movies that have sequels, and Alice in Wonderland has the sequel, which is garbage. The new live action Through the Looking Glass. That was one of the worst movies I've just ever seen. Like plain, don't waste your time with it. It's just a whole lot of like nonsense. Like the first Alice in Wonderland, like the live action Alice in Wonderland was okay for like a Tim Burton reimagining of it, but then the second one just goes just full Tim Burton sequel, if that makes sense.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah, okay, so 102 Dalmatians is the live action sequel.
Okay.
Still counts.
It does. I just found it fascinating. It's interesting that this is like how Disney used to like distinguish things with being like, okay, well we gotta go with the animation one being called the 101 Dalmatians 2, but the live action will call 101 Dalmatians.
So here we go. After a spot of therapy, haha, that's a good joke. Cruella de Vil is released from prison, a changed woman. Devoted to dogs and good causes, she is delighted that Chloe, her parole officer, has a Dalmatian family and connections with a dog charity. But the sound of Big Ben can reverse the treatment, so it is only a matter of time before Miss de Vil is back to her incredibly ghastly ways, using her newfound connections with Chloe and friends. So they don't even like rehash like the original people. It's just like all of a sudden there's this, oh, you know what? I think I vaguely remember this one. I think it's like they adopt like 99 puppies. Like I think they have like 2 Dalmatian dogs, like the family, and then there's like 99 fucking puppies that she steals because she wanted to put a hood on her like Dalmatian coat instead of just the like the coat.
Yeah, that part I remember.
Yeah, that might have been the first 2. No, okay. This at the beginning when I was talking about the fucking white dog who doesn't have a spot.
Yeah.
It was this one because they're showing a picture here of an all-white Dalmatian, and I remember at the end them being like, "Oh, he got some ink on him," and they're rubbing him, and it's like one spot. And they're like, "Oh my god, he got a spot!"
Yeah, I do remember that part. Wow, they just all blur together. I haven't watched any of them since I was younger, but yeah, I'm just sorry. I was looking up a bigger list of like a full list of actual Disney sequels. We left out the Brave Little Toaster. It had a couple sequels.
I don't count those though because they're not like they don't jump out at me as Disney movies. I just think of them as like the best movies ever made. I don't think of them as Disney movies.
No, I never think of them as. I forget that they're Disney ones. I've only seen just because they're under the list. Were they like? I'm just bringing it up. I'm curious if they actually had like the Disney logo. Yeah, Disney Presents. Okay.
Oh, I don't remember that. I like for some reason in my head they're like DreamWorks or something.
No, I know what you mean. Like them, they don't stick out as Disney ones, but maybe it's because I'm seeing that they're. Maybe it's because they were direct to video. Maybe that's why they don't stick out because they never had like trailer like.
Like I own them all and I fucking love all of them, but.
Yeah, but again, for me, they do blur again together. But this is also because I haven't watched them since we were younger, so it's like. The fact that there are sequels, I'm like, okay, I know that makes sense. I just just wasn't aware in a sense, you know what I mean? Because when I was younger, they all just kind of blur together.
You know what? I just got to take a minute here, and it's going to come up later in the podcast, so I'm going to give you guys a warning. I might get a little heated about the live-action Disney movies.
Okay.
I'm just giving you a heads up, because now I'm looking at a list of, like, the ones they've made, like The Jungle Book. And then 101 Dalmatians, and then 102 Dalmatians. And then 10 years later, they're like, oh yeah, here's Alice in Wonderland. And then Maleficent, 4 years after that. And then Cinderella. And then The Jungle Book again. And then they like just fucking double down, and they're just like forcing everything down your throat.
Those are all remakes, though. Like, I wouldn't classify those as sequels as much.
No, I'm just saying live action, period. I just think it's fucking horse shit. You got Dumbo that came out this year, Aladdin, The Lion King. Someone somewhere decided that we needed a Maleficent sequel for some reason. Then you got the live action,
that is
Lady
what
and the
sparked
Tramp.
this week's episode.
But this one doesn't even go to fucking theaters. This one only goes to their streaming. Yeah. And then we got a live action Mulan, which they're not doing the music, so I don't think this one's going to do as well as they think it is.
It's being protested in China right now, I believe, too.
Yeah, because it's kind of a bogus story too, but although the music is kind of racist, so I'll let it be. But then they're making Cruella. Why the fuck do you need a Cruella de Vil origin story? Like there's already the 101 Dalmatians where they touch base on the fact she hates fucking dogs. And then we got a live action Little Mermaid.
Somebody hating dogs.
Live action The Sword and the Stone. Live action The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Live action Lilo and Stitch. Another Jungle Book. Pinocchio. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, even though we've already got 2 separate Snow White movies.
So this has turned into...
And then fucking Peter Pan. Like, they've done Peter Pan 72 times live action. We don't need another one. I love me some PP. We don't need
Wow.
more.
Phrasing.
I said it.
Doubling down, okay. All right, do you got your live action rant out? Because I thought we've already talked about that.
I know, but it just fucking... I hate the term triggered. I hate it with a burning passion. But something's been sparked in me.
No, I understand. I've already been there. I don't know if maybe it was me and Craig who had that discussion about them already, where I ranted my brains out about it, but... Yeah, no, I'm pretty much in the same spot as you there. It's like, yeah, no. I get why they're doing it for, like, the money and, like, the fact that it's, like, it's easier, like, it's safe. It's safe bet in a sense.
It's fucking lazy.
Well,
it's
yeah.
lazy. You may have to put a lot of work and a lot of money into getting it going, but when you only have to tweak stories that already exist, a lot fucking easier than sitting down at a desk and coming up with something wholly original.
Yeah, no, and that's partly
like,
why they do it though at the same time is because they get these. They know that that's going to make $1 billion. Like each of these live
they already
action.
had a bad habit of like just finding really old stories or like Grimm's fairy tales and turning them into movies
they
rather
use
than
them
coming
all
up
up.
with their own original stuff, right? Like,
Yeah, well, exactly. Like so, it's something they've always done. They just kept it to a certain number. They decided one
they've
book
been
that they're going to
sneaky
steal
about it. They've been
from,
like,
and
oh,
they've
no,
run
we
out.
came up with Moana. That's our story. And like, but the Polynesian culture already knows about Maui, and like that's his story. Like, no, we came up with it. And you're like, no.
Well, I don't know if they're claiming they came up with that culture, but they were the first ones to do a movie
like,
about
not
it.
the culture, like the story. Like,
Well, the story of
like,
I know
this
what
is
you
our
mean.
story, and you're like, yeah.
And it's like
Or Hercules, like, you changed everything because you wanted to make a dope movie, and you did. Credit where it's due, you did.
Yeah. Well,
But you didn't come up with shit. You just
Yeah.
took like stuff that already existed and you just like crammed it down their throat.
Well, yeah, lots
Or
of
Tarzan, where it had been done live action 14 and a half times, and it was a story that was already written, and they're like, this is ours. And you're like, God damn it.
yeah. Well, this is just nothing new, really, though. Like
I'm just.
we've
sick
all
of it.
been. It's been recycled. Everything's been recycled.
Give
for
me
so
a live
long.
action Brave Little Toaster or nothing.
I don't want no. I don't want that.
A live
Yeah.
action Brave Little
How-
Toaster.
Unless we're talking about like
That's what I'm
people
saying,
in
like-
giant costumes. Not. I want like giant foam costumes of like Toaster and the Thing, and they're in this
Yes,
giant room.
I'm with Scott.
That's the only way I'll do it. I do not want CGI. I do not want
Okay.
some like cats
That's
bullshit.
what I'm saying. I want, like, I'm saying you have to do that in order to do the rest because they won't do that one, which means they'll just stop fucking bullshit in the world and come up with something wholly original.
Well, they
Or
do.
stop buying things that are already existed and just continuing it.
In their defense, like they do come up with original things once in a while. Moana's slightly original. Frozen's fairly original, even though they're now bringing out a sequel to it. But it's like, it is this weird thing we get into where it's like movies are made to make money. So it is an interesting
I'm totally
thing.
fine with that fact. It's the fact that is milk the tit culture.
Well,
That's what I fucking hate.
Well, I understand what you mean by that, but it's also like from
Yeah,
a
to
business
me, it's the
from the
s-
business perspective, I get where it's like, okay, these are our winning things. You know what I mean? So like you got to think of it like investments, right? So like at the end of the year, they invested in like the surefire things, which are the things that they redid, the sequels, right? Those are the safe bets. Those are the GEs and the banks and or whatever the solid investments where you're like, okay, these are the safe bets. These are going to definitely grow. And then there's the risky things, the startups and stuff, and they do less of those because they keep failing. That's what it comes down to. So it's like,
To me,
would you
it's
keep
the
it?
same as if when I go to do a haircut, right? And you sit in my chair and you say,
Well-
you know what, I like it short. I want a number 2 on the sides. And I
That's-
want finger width up top.
that's a lot
so
different.
So I say, you know what, cool,
That's
I can
not-
do that. And I
no.
give you a number 3 on the sides because it looks short to you. You don't know what the
Well,
fuck
no,
is
see,
going
'cause
on.
you're-
But
that's
I'm
a
like,
one-to-one
now I
thing.
can get you to come back a week and a half sooner.
That's a one-to-one thing, though. Like they're making movies because you're not paying them $10 million to recoup their investment they made in their movie, right? So it's like,
What?
okay, so that they appeal to then more than just Andrew.
You
so
gotta
that's where
take
it's different
a hard
from.
loss once in a while. You gotta
Well, they
fucking
do. They have.
No, when you gotta near bankrupt yourself.
Well,
In order to fucking be lazy as shit like this. That's
well,
what I'm
see,
saying.
they've done that in the past, and then they've had enough of these big ones because they have the big ones that like really hit. That like when you have $1 billion hit, that really puts you in the black. Is that the term for being in the positives? I've only ever been in the
Probably.
red, so I don't know. But you know what I mean. Like I'm just saying from
Thanks, Doug Ford.
I understand from like a creative perspective and like an audience perspective what you mean, but it's also like, well, we didn't go see any of their new their original stuff last year. Like I'm trying to think what they did have that was original. Because all the ones that are coming to mind that were flops were ones that are based, so like Wrinkle in Time, that's based on something. So that's not a good example, but
Here we go. I'm going to pull up a list. Disney movies 2018. The Incredibles 2.
Yeah, no,
I did
it's a
go
sequel.
see that.
So that's what I mean. That's a safe investment. And that's the other
Christopher
thing.
Robin, I did
Like
go
you're
see that.
also like helping like
The Nutcracker can go fuck itself.
See, and that's a kind of original, but it was more
Ralph
original.
breaks the internet. Why?
Well,
Mary Poppins
that was a
Returns.
sequel.
Here's a prime
Sequel.
example of
Don't even get me started.
why.
Well-
Why?
That's almost as bad as
We're
going
gonna
to
do a sequel that was filmed like what, fucking 70 years later, or whatever it was. I don't know when the first one came out.
That's like
it was a
that's like doing a
long-ass time
sequel
later.
to The Wizard of Oz right now.
Yeah. But
do
they did like the prequel.
I think
A
we
couple
should
years
just
ago.
we should just greenlight that.
You say that, I'm sure it's already been done or it's somewhere. Like we did have a new Oz done not too long ago. We had an Oz prequel with what's his name?
That's what I just
James
said with James
yeah.
Franco
Yeah.
and Mila Kunis. Mm-hmm. And it was fucking terrible
Yeah.
and unnecessary.
I won't disagree with that. And I'm not disagreeing with you on like a creative and audience level. I'm just defending the business choice because I get it in a sense. You know what I mean? Like I understand, like, yeah, we always want new stuff, but we also go to too much of this repeat stuff. Like, I don't too often, actually. I don't go to many. Like, I'm not going to Maleficent or Frozen 2.
I'm so fucking heated about Maleficent 2. Like, I'm still pissed off that the first one was in theaters for so long because it wasn't that good of a movie.
Yeah, it's okay. I could see why, like, it appeal. We're not the target audience for that at all, though. Like,
Honestly, I'm gonna say I feel like it was just a bunch of creepy guys who were like, Angelina Jolie's so hot as a dragon chick.
well, that's possible. Or it was young ladies who connected with a female
With a
like
dragon
led
chick?
cast. Well, there's Maleficent as a character, not like when you're a kid, you don't always connect to things up for the right reasons. Sometimes you connect to them because they look cool. Like we liked freaking Darth Vader when we were younger, but before the
You
prequels,
don't know me.
before the prequels, you didn't have much go for him. Besides, at the end, he did throw the Emperor at the end, but that's his only redeeming thing, right? Before the prequels, and even then,
You
the
know what?
prequels don't help his character that much, I guess. Now that I think of it.
You know what, I'm gonna say it. I'm part of the problem because I'm willing to give a lot of young boys a hard hard pass on stuff like that because boys are stupid. Girls are so much smarter than guys. Like, boys are just dumb. Like, boys are the type of people to be like, you know what, let's get on the fucking like whirly merry-go-round thing at the park. Let's get at 1,000 miles an hour and jump off.
Let's hook some bottle rockets up to it and see how
Let's
fast we can
get
go.
on the teeter-totter and go up and down, up and down.
And then one person
then
jumps off like an
jump
asshole.
off. Let's get on this aluminum slide that's 1,700 billion degrees.
Yeah, I feel like
go
that was
down
just
and
part
die.
of.
That's more on adults, though. That was
Yeah.
more on, let's get as high as we can on the swing and jump off and possibly bust our femurs.
I definitely have some knee damage from doing that when I was younger.
Boys are dumb. Girls are smart.
Okay, we got to rein it back in. We were talking about Disney sequels, and we went off a very weird, semi-connected tangent.
You know what? I think I'm done talking about Disney sequels, if I'm being honest, though. I think I'm
That's
all
cool.
ranted out.
We can do what we watched this week. I got nothing to add.
Yeah, we pretty much covered all the ones that matter for the most part. We didn't get to the
Don't
main
make
live
the ones that
actions.
don't.
I will plead, though, to Disney, don't make live-action sequels for the movies you're making. Like, I don't need a Beauty and the Beast 2.
Oh, you're getting that.
Beauty and the Beast live action was perfect as it was.
Telling you right now, anything that makes billions getting a sequel. That's just
And
happening.
I sure as shit, and this will be my translation into my WWWTW, and I sure as shit don't need a fucking Aladdin 2 Return of Jafar live action. Because you know what? That movie, I watched it this week.
Aladdin, the new one.
It was better than I thought it was going to be.
That's
Right?
what I've heard.
However, I fucking hated Jafar. And not
Well,
for the
obvious.
reasons
That's
you're
actually-
supposed to hate Jafar.
That's
Not
actually
for
most
the
people's
reasons.
criticism of it too, is that he's not a very great villain. It's kind of
He's
weak.
I'm
Yeah.
going to say, as an actor, not as a human being, as an actor, he doesn't seem to bring much to the table. Because
In this role, you should
he
say.
seemed very vanilla.
Yes.
He was very kind of like, I just want the throne. And you're like, oh,
Was it-
that's original. Cool,
It's
buddy.
a very weak.
He didn't
It's a weak
look.
villain.
Yeah, he didn't really look Jafar's part. Like, in my mind, when I close my eyes, I want Jafar to be like 6'5", 6'7", very slender, kind of snake-like.
Yeah.
You know, because he's got his snaky
Well,
scepter.
that's the thing. Yeah, he's
This
supposed to have
guy
that
looked like
snake
he was
appearance.
6 foot tops with a beard. Like I can't off the top of my head think of someone who I might have liked to see in that role better.
Well,
Maybe like
especially-
Ben Kingsley, because I feel like he would have just fucking blown it out of the water. Because I would have just pictured him from what was that?
Well, that's where I don't know if Ben Kingsley would
Oh.
fall into it.
Well, height wise, no, but he definitely could have done the character better.
No, I meant like
I'm
fitting into that culture.
Oh.
They did try to do a little bit more accurate casting this time, and what is
yeah, but
what
that's
is
part
Sir
of the thing
Ken
is they don't
Bigton's, like-
actually know where Aladdin takes place.
Well, that's true. It is a
It's a
fictional
made up
thing,
place in the
but
middle of butt-fuck nowhere. They don't seem to be able to get together and agree on like when it takes place, which is one of those bullshit like
well, that's
fan
just
theory,
people.
conspiracy theories. Like, Aladdin actually takes place post-apocalyptic in the future because the flying carpet is actually a machine. And fuck out of here.
No, because it's mostly
outta
it's
here.
like that's usually because of the references the genies
The
make.
genie make?
The genie makes, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
you mean the magic guy?
Yeah,
like
you mean the guy who's literally there for both entertainment
thing for
purposes, but also
yeah.
comedic relief?
who lived in a
like,
lamp for 1,000 years? Like,
what's he gonna do? Make a fucking reference to cave people that no one understands? Like,
yeah, it's
but
yeah.
Will Smith, I did like that he made the genie his own,
yeah.
Yep.
and that they
Yeah.
gave quite a few like callbacks to the Robin Williams genie, which was nice.
Well, that's what they did well.
But Jafar really fucking took me out of it. And you know what? If they could get what's his name, James Earl Jones. I almost said Tommy Lee Jones. If they could get James Earl Jones back as Mufasa, why the hell couldn't they get Gilbert Gottfried back as Iago?
Didn't they use Alan Tudyk though?
I'm not sure. He did not do it for me. And I love me some Alan Tudyk, but why couldn't they bring back Iago as just a snarky fucking parrot?
Because it was live action.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was Alan Tudyk. I mean, that's a pretty good second.
I didn't think he did a good job.
I think Alan
Yeah.
Tudyk just lives next to Disney, and they just get
He
him to come
must.
by to do all these extra things because
Probably,
he's
he probably
like-
calls
he's
it
in everything
Hey,
for like
Hey,
5
how-
minutes.
like
Something
how
I can
Paul
not
Bettany
sound like
did.
myself.
Like
Yeah.
what Paul Bettany did when he was just Jarvis, where he'd go like just record his voice in like a day and then be done for the year.
Yep.
That's probably
Or-
Alan Tudyk. He's probably just like records himself on his cell phone, sends in the fucking email, and you're like, there you go,
Yeah,
make
Good
it
luck.
work. Make me a bird.
Let me know which premiere I have to show up to.
Yeah.
Yep.
But this was a movie too where, and I said it about The Lion King, I would have preferred the movie if there was no music. Like
Oh, really?
they seem to
I
double
think-
down on a little too much. Like the Genie songs are, you know, they're iconic for this movie franchise. But like Jasmine's like Silent or whatever it was, it felt like they were trying to like give her her own music career too. And I love me the Pink Ranger, but didn't need it.
You mean a Charlie's Angel?
No, she was the Pink Power Ranger.
Well, she's
She was
soon
that
to
first.
be.
She was that first.
Yeah,
for
I
me.
know. A soon-to-be Charlie's Angel.
But yeah, so I watched Aladdin. Better than I thought it was gonna be. However, Jafar, fucking awful.
Okay, I can tell you right now, you're definitely getting a sequel. I don't know if he'll be in it, but it's made too much money.
He
It's
better
again,
not be in it
broke that
because he
billion
was
mark.
he was the worst part of that movie.
No, I'm not. I haven't seen it, so I can't.
I don't even know
describe.
how they do a sequel though, unless it was like a midquel. Because spoiler alert, at the end, the genie's not even a genie anymore.
Or is he?
No, he's not.
Or is he? I didn't see it, so I'm just saying. What I'm
He's
saying,
not.
what I'm implying more so is like they did have what I've gleaned from some of the like the podcasts and videos I watched on it since I haven't seen it, is that they did like frame it in a way that it seems like it might have been a story that was told by, you know, the genie's human counterpart, and it's like, well, if that's your story, like, you know what I mean, if that's the way you're framing it,
Well, even
you
if they
can do it anyway.
Even though like they do start it off like he's telling his children, and like they.
That's
but
what I
they
mean, yeah.
They
That's
end
the
it with, like,
device,
this is
that
how
they
the
use.
story ends, and like, you know, him and his wife get together because they met like through the story.
Yeah, and so
And
that's
then
what I mean. Like,
then
so
they leave and have kids, but like they still end the story of Aladdin with the genie turning into a human.
Yeah, so what I mean, though, is because you have that storytelling mechanism that they use of, it being because technically all this is being told from the guy who used to be a genie's perspective, right? Like the story, like the way they frame it, right? It's like, oh, Will Smith's genie is telling the story of how he went from being a genie, but it's like you could also take that as, well, he's lying to his children. Like, yes, we saw this 2-hour movie, but he could have just been lying to his children, so there's no reason why in the future he couldn't make up another story where he got the genie powers back for a short period before the kids were born, because he had to do that so that he'd be able to have kids. You know what I mean? Like,
it sounds like too much bullshit.
Well, it is and isn't, but my point just is that they have that way of, because they set it up in a way like it's being told as a story, they have a way of then continuing that story because it was told as. Do you know what I mean? Does that
I see
make
what
sense?
you're saying. I don't agree with it.
Oh, I'm not saying they should. I'm just saying what's gonna happen. I'm trying to prepare you. You're getting a second Aladdin.
I quit.
You look at the
Next
box
up,
office.
I watched Harry Potter's 5 and 6.
Nice.
Interesting.
Don't need to get back into that.
Yeah, we've talked about those a couple times. We have a whole episode of Harry Potter, I think.
Yeah.
I
watched The Hangovers 1 and 2 because they're on Netflix.
Okay.
And
how'd you like the revisit? Because I can't watch those movies anymore.
I remember the first one being incredible because I was like a teenager.
That's exactly what it is. When we were that age, like when it came out at that age, it was great. I've grown so young and dumb. You think it's cool to just be hungover. Yeah, exactly. And it's like now I'm like, well, no, I don't want to do any of that bullshit.
Okay, so for the first one, like I spent like most of the movie stressing out about how they destroyed that hotel room, and no one was concerned with the fact it was about to cost them bare minimum like $20,000.
That's my problem with the whole thing too. It's like the fact you guys not even like, yeah, you're all just putting it on the dentist's credit card, but still, like
then when they wreck what's his face's like father-in-law's car, his Mercedes, and at the end they just chalk it up to what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, and they all just happen to get $20,000 each to go home with, and I was like, oh, man, like
it's a little too.
I promise you, if I drove Kendall's dad's Cadillac and I fucking wrecked it, I'm donezo. Poof. That man knows things, okay? You would never see me again. I'm not saying that I'd be dissolved with battery acid or anything, but I'm just saying you'd never see me again. So, like, how the fuck is this, like, they don't even remotely try to cover it up. Like, they're just like, oh, what happens in Vegas? Like, I don't care how wealthy you are. You could have $17 billion in the bank, and if someone wrecks your fucking Mercedes collectible, you're going to be pissed.
Well, see, that's part of what you have to do, like, that's what you have to buy into with this whole thing, is that, like, the fact that, like, in reality, nobody can end up on the top of a hotel and stay there for any longer than a couple hours before security finds them. Like, that's just.
I'm pretty sure they have like cameras up there.
That's what I mean. Like, there's cameras. If you threw something off the roof, someone's gonna check. Like.
Yeah. No, like the whole movie, I was just stressed out about like the real life stuff with it.
Oh yeah, there's a tiger loose in their apartment.
A cop car, and then they were like, "Oh yeah, no, we're gonna be embarrassed, so we're just gonna let you get tased in the nuts."
Yeah, and see, that's where where it starts to lose me, is where you get into these weird parts where you have to just buy into the premise, where it's like, yeah, this is a weird world where stupid, quirky things like that happen, but I can't anymore.
I was stressed out for it, so I went and then I watched the sequel because I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
why not?
And that one, I was like, you know what? It's Thailand. I don't know what their customs or their laws are, so maybe some of this stuff does happen. But then I was thinking, no, there's so many people there. Someone would have seen or done something.
Yeah, no, the second one is just, like, I didn't even like it when it came out at the time because it's too much of just, oh, it's the first movie. They just chose a new location and switched, like, it feels so cookie cutter.
They bring back, not a lot, they bring back 2 characters from the first one.
Yeah, like characters.
They change one of them. Like, they bring back, I know him. I like his comedy, Brian Callen. They bring him back. In the first one, he plays Eddie, the guy who owns the wedding chapel.
Yeah.
In the second one, he plays this guy who, like, runs a Thai strip club. and also deals in like automatic weapons. But it just so happens that Leslie Chow, he does business there. And you're like, okay, well, he's Asian, like, I'll give him a pass on it. But then all of a sudden, there's so many white people who own businesses there who are like from America. And you're like, what? Like, there's an American tattoo artist who does Stu's Mike Tyson tattoo. And you're like, what?
Which they had to pay copyright for. They
Yeah,
got sued
like-
for copyright by the actual tattoo artist who did that
Yeah.
of Mike Tyson, because he owns the copyright on that, and
I
they had to
believe it.
pay him. Like, I think it was like $500,000.
Yeah. Just for a bit joke that I'm pretty sure they get rid of it in the third movie.
Yep.
I haven't seen the third one.
It's not even that
But,
like,
like,
of a joke, too, because it's just
no.
like, oh, yeah, he woke up with an eye.
Oh,
Yep,
he
and it's
ripped out
done.
his tooth last time. This time he's got a tattoo.
Yeah. And I was like, okay.
Like, no, the whole movie, I was like, I've never been there, so I don't know, but I feel like I know.
Yeah, no, this is just ridiculous. I've never even seen the third one because I'm like, I don't want to waste my time. Like,
Yeah.
I know I'm not going to enjoy this enough. I've kind of gotten past it, but I
But
feel
then
a
in
lot.
this one they bring back Chow, but like he's a totally different
Oh yeah, they
version
just
of
switch
himself.
up
He's like
what
just
they
a buddy. They
they
just
add
party.
a character to him. Yeah,
Yeah.
like in the first
like,
one he was just a
"What?"
naked Asian guy.
Yeah. It was weird.
Yeah,
I remember leaving a party to go see that movie in high school. I remember being at, I think it was a party at like Jack's house or something like that. And I remember like leaving with, I think it was Sarah, Curtis, and Adam. I can't remember who was there. But I remember leaving a party and going to see this movie because it seemed like a better option.
That was a good decision.
And
you
loving,
made the
loving
right
the
move
movie.
that night.
And then in retrospect, I'm like, I shouldn't have gone to either.
Should just been at home.
Should have just fucking stayed home, jerked off or something. But next up, I've got Psych. I restarted Psych
Good
Nice.
call. Good call.
because fantastic show. Why the heck not? I rewatched part of season 17 of Family Guy,
nice.
and there's a few bits that I've referenced in my day-to-day life because I find it funny and no one knows who I'm talking about. And the hey guys, it's Corey from Corey's World because I love that, and no
Today,
one knows who I'm talking
We're gonna
about.
do something that no one would ever do.
I love that. Or the was it Friends of Distinction, like Grazing in the Grass. I was mowing my lawn the other day and that song was stuck in my head the whole time. It takes me roughly an hour and a half to mow my lawn, do the edging, use the yard sweeper, use let's say the blow dryer, use the
Use the blow dryer.
blow
obviously.
dryer to blow the hair off the driveway,
Yeah.
and that's an hour and a half of grazing in the gas. Like, oh, it was stuck in my head the whole goddamn time. But I'm okay with that at the same time. I got 3 more things on my list. Do you
Hit us.
want the question mark? Do you want enjoyable or the worst?
Question mark?
Okay, so the question mark. I watched Bill Burr's new special
Yeah.
because I couldn't
Yeah.
sleep last night, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'll throw it on. Like, worst case scenario, I'm up watching a comedy special. Best case scenario, I fall asleep.
Yeah.
So I put it on, and I remember laughing at like 2 things, and the rest of it just being like, oh, so they just gave this guy an angry TED Talk? Is that what it is?
Yes.
That's exactly how I felt too.
But
Yeah.
that's Bill Burr.
that's the
I've
exact.
They
never
gave
seen
him
him
an
his types of
animated
comedy.
TED
Yeah.
Talk too.
But, like, I think it was last week I said it, where he's too, like that's what he says a lot.
Yeah.
And he says it like 14 times in this one, where he just like gets angry about something, like, I'm like, oh man.
Yeah. No, I agree.
I like some of his older comedy, but this one I was kind of like, oh, this is overboard, dude.
Yeah, it's a little
Overboard.
too much preaching, a little too much just like.
And
Nope.
I'm 100% on the side of people need to fucking lighten up. Like, it's comedy.
Yeah.
Why are you so angry about it? Like,
I
these
just-
guys are making jokes. Like, they're fucked up. Like, I'm pretty sure the therapists of comedians make more money than any other therapist out there. Like, lay the fuck off. They're comedians. But at the same time, you
Yeah. No, I know
don't
what
need to
you mean.
get angry about stuff.
Well, that part I won't agree with. Sometimes you gotta get angry about shit.
No, you get angry, but you don't need to go make
Especially
a
if your
1
voice
hour
sounds
and
like
7
Bill Burr.
minute. Yeah. a 1 hour and 7-minute angry Boston comedy special.
No, I agree. It was a little too like. It felt almost like one of my rants, but like, like it did seem a little bit like he just took an episode of his podcast almost and just threw it up there because it wasn't enough. Like for me, it was too long of these like the TED Talk parts to get to like such a small punchline that it wasn't.
Yeah.
But that's why it wasn't funny for me because it's like okay, like Joe Rogan will do that sometimes, but then his punchline is great. And same with like Dave Chappelle, their punchlines at the end of it are just. I find
because you forget that they're telling a joke.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas Bill Burr, like you're fully aware, you're like, oh, okay.
I'm waiting. And
he's not about to give me statistics, or he's not about to say something just real fucking funny. Like, I feel like if you locked Bill Burr and Chris D'Elia in a room together, they would both die before either of them shut up. Like, you know what I mean?
That's so accurate.
Because like Chris D'Elia just doesn't shut the fuck up.
Ever.
And Bill Burr's just pissed about everything.
Yeah.
So I feel like neither of them would, they both just drop dead before, or like one of them would die and the other, like if Chris D'Elia died, Bill would just be pissed that Chris died and left him alone in a room. And if Bill died, Chris D'Elia would just like make fun of the dead body until he died.
Yeah, can't argue with that.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you the good thing. I rewatched Tom Segura Disgraceful because I needed to wash that taste out of my mouth.
Good call.
And it worked. So the bad thing I watched 4 minutes of an NFL game this weekend.
Which one, though?
It was, it was the Jets game the other night. Because I skipped everything else over the weekend. And I got to say, fuck the NFL.
Oh, snap.
I said it. I'm on record. I recorded myself saying it.
Yep.
Fuck the NFL.
There goes our Nike sponsorship.
It is so goddamn boring. It is 3 hours of fucking nothing. Even when they score, it's nothing. It's not exciting.
Yeah, no,
it's just
boring.
it's just a bunch of overpaid giant men.
Just kind of. They play patty cake nowadays more than anything. Like that was the expression we used to use when we played football for when you weren't being aggressive enough. It's like, oh, you playing patty cake, and these people get paid millions of dollars too.
Yeah,
and
it's 16 games of the Pro Bowl, and then the fucking Pro Bowl where they go lighter.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's partly what I got out of it. Too much like commercial breaks. You don't need a fucking minute break after every fucking play. That's just like, no, like let's just play the game. Like you can get
at
that
least
shit.
With the CFL, like there's big fucking plays.
Yeah.
If it's a slow game, it's an intense defensive game, and then all of a sudden there's like, oh shit, that was a 73-yard pass. That's amazing. The NFL is just kind of like, oh, that was a really good pass.
Yeah.
But
for
like
6.5 yards.
Cool.
Now you got 3 more downs to do.
Yeah.
To get the rest of it.
Yeah.
So run.
4 minutes because I was so fucking bored.
Yeah. No. You just described exactly reason why I don't watch sports in general anymore.
Yeah,
that and just like trying to keep up with them. Like, you think it's hard to keep up with all these like superhero shows? You try to keep up with like players and like fantasy league and stuff. Like,
I used to do it.
Oh yeah,
in high school. I used to watch every single football game.
Used to be our lives.
I used to stay on top of the stats. I was in 3 different fucking leagues.
Oh yeah.
I used to do the hockey league. I used to stay up to date on basketball statistics and baseball. Now I'm like, okay, CFL and baseball get my attention, and I'll watch a hockey game from time to time.
Yeah, no, it's just
that's it.
For me. It became way too like samey. Like, you know what I mean? Like, especially professional sports, you get into a lot of like, well, yeah, you're watching all the best at this thing do what they train their whole lives to do. It's of course it's gonna be a little like evenly matched, and you're gonna get or so it's just gonna be boring because it's like, they're all playing it safe. They're all just trying to do what they can because. There's no point is the real thing it comes down to. It's like, they're trying to win the championship.
Does a joke about how like he thinks they should all be on steroids.
Yeah.
Pump them all full of steroids and let them run 1,000 miles. And it's fucking true.
It would be fun. It'd make it a little interesting. Yeah.
I think what takes me out of the sport, like all sports too, is that like there's no like imagination involved with it anymore. We all can Google and find out exactly how much money each player's paid.
Yeah.
We can find the statistics of like the at bat percentage for every single player in the MLB.
Oh yeah.
We can find this quarterback drops back, and when he drops back 7 steps, he can like. There's no imagination to the game. There's no just turning on a game and just watching it and hoping that, oh yeah, okay, let's hope the Bears fucking win a game. Fingers crossed. Maybe their kicker's gonna kick something.
Yeah, but
you more or less you know
the percentage, yeah.
Or you look at this guy like, oh, he's overpaid. Fuck this guy.
Yeah.
At least that's how I take it. Like it's like I've lost interest in so much of it because I'm like, oh, I know this guy just got a big raise, so he's who gives a shit.
Yeah. No, I agree. It's such a like for me at least it's like because like just watching it I stopped getting anything out of it. Like at least when we were in high school it was it was almost like a studying thing because we were learning more about the thing we enjoyed. But as I've gotten further away from playing it, it's a little bit more like it's for me it's I just don't even care sometimes. I'm like cool.
You're grown men playing a sport that people pay to play on the weekends.
Well, to be honest, and I wanted that for my life, and it's like I can't hate on that part. You know what I mean? Like if I had the opportunity, I would have done the exact same thing, but I didn't, so that's why I don't care anymore. Like it's like okay, no, yeah, I get why some people still care, but to me, it's like I just couldn't put the energy into it anymore, and I eventually just stopped all sports, like because it's just I don't know, I just don't get anything out of it anymore. Like rooting for a team, it's like even if they win at the end of the season, it's like, okay, cool, I get bragging rights. Pretty much. Like, and it's like for me, it's like even the teams, like to me too, it's like the teams don't even have that much motivation besides, it just makes them more money. Like, you know what I mean? And it's like, well, that's like once you're up in the millions of dollars, I'm sorry, I'm not like I could understand why they're not that motivated to be like, oh yeah, I could make an extra $5 million next year if we spend this whole season, playing a little bit harder than all the other $1 million people. So, yeah. But people like sports. I can't hate. I like Marvel and superhero shit. So,
Everybody's got their thing.
Exactly. But no, Andrew, I definitely get why you turned it off after 4 minutes.
Like, honestly, I was getting just like fucking angry at how boring it was.
Oh yeah, no, I understand, like, especially with American football too, because it's like Canadian. I think the reason it's a little bit more exciting is because they've got
3 downs.
Exactly, you have less chances.
You have 3 fucking downs.
You have to be a little bit more risky. So, or you're like, and you're moving quicker because of that. The ball's changing possession more often. Yeah,
every play is a wildcat play.
Exactly.
It's exciting. You don't know what's coming.
Whereas in NFL,
unless you're McLeod Bethel Thompson, and then you're going to lose the game.
Yeah.
But
NFL, you can just run it 3 times and get 3 yards each time. Yeah. Yeah, but anyways, should we move on to something? That's your list. Okay. Craig, what did you watch this week?
Well, I only watched really a couple things. A little bit more Family Guy season 17, plugging away at it. I'll get there eventually.
This is Corey.
I'm almost done it. Then I got to move on to like Archer and stuff.
Yeah,
because of course they dropped the 2 of them at the same.
Yeah, that I saw. I was
time.
Like, oh, my brother's gonna have fun. He still hasn't watched either of those.
Big Mouth comes out in like 2 weeks.
I know. I really gotta turn it on. Thankfully, there's only 9 episodes of Archer, so I'll make it through eventually.
Yeah.
But we're doing something I've never done. Anybody want to guess at what it is that we're watching that I've never seen before?
Okay, is it something that's gonna be like whoa?
No,
or is something gonna be like
it's something that most people have already seen. And I'm just
Breaking Bad.
It's a TV show.
It is not a TV show.
Oh, it's a movie.
It's a movie.
Movies or movie?
Plural.
Okay, I thought it was plural.
Is it like a series of movies?
It is a series of movies.
It's not Harry Potter, is it?
It is Harry Potter.
It is Harry Potter.
Shit.
Damn, that's cool.
Watched 2, 3, 4, and we are almost all the way finished the 5th movie.
Oh, nice. Overlap with my shit.
That's what I thought was funny.
I know, right? That's why I was like, ooh.
It's the time of the year, though. Like, we're coming at fall's Harry Potter season.
Now, Craig, I can't remember. Did you read the books?
I read the first 3 books.
Okay.
So
everything after that where they have the climax and stuff.
I had an idea of what happened in Goblet of Fire. Beyond that, not a clue.
That's funny because I've read all the other books besides the first 3.
Yeah, the first 3 are the only ones I actually knew everything. And now we're into
Order of the Phoenix is probably the worst one. And then
It's
Goblet of Fire is like a close second.
it's a very different movie.
Yeah.
Is Order of the Phoenix.
Yeah.
I kind of said it offhand last night because that's when we started watching Order of the Phoenix. It was like they completely turned the series on its head when they did that.
Oh yeah.
Like it's a different breed of movie even.
Yeah, they take a different tone. I think what happened was this different like director or producer like took over the series at that point, and it just completely
that makes
switched up the
sense.
tone of like the whole like because last 3 or 4, what was it? Yeah, the last ones all stick out because of that. They all have that darker tone, which does play into the obviously like part of what's going on. They're going back to war almost in a sense, but yeah, I kind of get where people have that kind of resistance too, because like you grow up with these like kind of cheerful, kind of playful, magical movies, and then you get to the 4th and 5th one. The fourth one was the one that really got like to me because it ends with someone actually dying, right? Like a kid dying, and not like some like random in like or the Phoenix or not Chamber of Secrets, but even that all of them are just petrified. They're all in a coma for the whole thing, so it's like okay, so that's like that for me was where it started, and then the
Well, it starts off with like, oh my god, I'm worried, to just turning into like, oh fuck, you can kill that guy.
Yeah.
But it also helps that they make everyone like of age. Like everyone just squeaks in like under the you just turned 18.
By the
You're
end,
of age. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm enjoying it so far,
Well,
but
that's good.
it took me this long to get to it, and that's it. That's all that's on my list.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
Well, that makes sense.
Like,
You watched 4 of those, so that takes a lot of time.
It's they're 2+ hours.
Yeah,
each.
no. They're,
Well, I think the Chamber of Secrets is like 3, or not 3, but like 2.5 anyway.
It was long.
Yeah, you're definitely only good. Yeah, that makes sense. That plus Family Guy. So I guess it's on to my list then, which is,
Yes, it is.
also fairly short. I did watch a couple new things this weekend, though. I checked out this limited series from Netflix called The I-Land, which in the show, actually, I believe is...
The Island, yeah, I saw that come up. It seemed weird.
Yeah, so it's this weird thing. It's about this... so a bunch of people end up on this island, and none of them have their memories, and they have no idea why they're there. Do you guys want me to spoil the whole series for you?
Yeah, go ahead.
Might as well.
Okay, spoiler alert, guys. So it ends up, they're on an island, and none of them know why, and then eventually they learn that they're all in a simulation, which is actually because they were all prisoners on death row, and they signed up to get put in this simulation where they get their memories taken away and put on this island to see if they act like how they act, right? Because they're all death
see
row
if they're
criminals.
like they can be better people.
Yeah,
or not.
so to see if like the rapists are still rapists or not, which they are. If the murderers are still murderers, they are. So it was just kind of this thing
it
about.
takes them a while to figure it out, type thing.
Well, pretty much. Well, it's kind of interesting because you don't learn this until like halfway through the season. So like the first few, you're trying to figure out what's going on because it is this weird thing like. This island, like, because they're all just wake up on the shore, but there's no like wreckage of anything. So it's like, how did we all get here? So you have all these questions, and they find random things. So it's like you're getting this weird feeling at first, and then eventually the one character, she's the one who like she kind of pulls herself out of the simulation. So then the people who are running the simulation have to explain to her what's been going on, and yeah. So then when she knows, they then end up giving everyone their memories back. So all these murderer and rapists get their memories back, and they slowly kill each other. And once you die in the simulation, you die in real life. So it's like
when you poop in your dreams, poop for real.
Yeah. So like the point is that like these people are supposed to get like a chance, like pretty much like a second chance, but none of them ever like make it out of the simulation because they all end up just being their same shitty selves and making the same kind of crappy decisions, like killing and raping and stealing and all these different things.
So why is like the main chick on death row? I'm curious.
Okay, so she was like
Wrongly
again, spoilers
accused or something?
Well, they don't know that actually. This is what you learn throughout the show actually. So one of the things is her and her. So she's in jail for having for having killed their mother. That's the crime. But we learn like because she doesn't have her memory at the beginning of this, we don't learn this until like throughout this. She's getting flashbacks of being like kind of having seen it, but thinking she may have like done it. But then we learn throughout the show was actually her husband who accidentally killed her mom and then tried to like cover it up, but that ended up like setting them both up. So they were both in jail and in death row, and then in the same simulation.
I don't think she would end up on death row for that though. Like see, that's stuff that would take me out of the show, like the real life.
Well, in the show's
it.
defense, you don't learn this till like one of the last like 3 episodes. You know what I mean? Like you don't like he can.
Okay.
It's like I think it's the second last episode. He confesses like, and then he confesses in the simulation, which then leads to her being acquitted and taken out of the simulation because she's not technically guilty of the crime that put her on death row, which put her in the simulation. So she gets released at the end, and she gets told, oh yeah, by the way, it's been 25 years. You're older than you think. And you end the show with her like leaving prison, being like a middle-aged lady now, and just you see this world where it's like this future where the ice caps have melted and like it's, you know, the society's like slowly dying. That's why they have this extreme prison system, because they need to be able to like try and redeem even murderers because the human population's dwindling away because of global warming. And then the show's over.
Let us die. Let us die.
Well, that's where the show ends.
Problem fucking solved.
Right there. And I was like, wait, what? You got to the most interesting part and now you're going to stop it? Like, I was so curious about the world, and they're like, yeah, no, this is a limited series. We're not going to do any more. Bye. And I was like, what? Okay. I felt that was unnecessary to add the whole, it's 25 years into the future, other than that explaining, like, where the technology, in a sense, comes from for them to be able to do this. Which, to me, I'm just like, oh, this can take place in the future.
Lazy writing.
Yeah, like, they just, like, because, like, they say, like, the point is that she, you know, in the simulation, they're seeing their avatars as the age they did when they did the crime, right? And so it's like that's their way of like justifying that she's been 25 years, and that's why she thought she was younger this whole time. And then she, you know, gets out of the simulation and still doesn't have her memory back completely, but thinks she's, you know, younger than she was, but sees in the mirror that she isn't. And I'm like, this detail was unnecessary. Like, it doesn't add anything to the story. Her being 25, like having been in prison 25 years, other than, yeah, it sucked that your husband set you up and you were framed for 25 years and it took having your memories erased and then put into a simulation for it all to work out. But yeah, it was weird. It was a weird, because I had weird feelings about it, because I kind of liked it, because like it was one of those ones that's actually, funnily enough, I liked the journey. Like, watching the show was pretty enjoyable, the kind of way you piece together the mystery. But then the ending just like kind of threw me off with it, because like the last episode, they just like this. The last episode's like, oh yeah, your husband confessed, so now we're going to explain everything to you and let you go. But we're also going to try and tie up some loose ends with some stuff, but not really. And it's like, okay, it just felt very like, it felt like maybe it was originally supposed to be maybe like 10 episodes, and they were like, yeah, no, make this 7. And they just were like, okay, we're done.
They did.
And they did, exactly. They just did. They're like, okay, we're going to shove this all into one episode and eliminate them being on the island a lot more. Because at like one point, she pretty much just gets taken out of it, and we don't find out anything else about like the other 10 people in the, you know, simulation who we'd spent the whole season with. So it's like, okay, it had some weird, like, nice parts, but also some weird parts to it, because it's like, okay, well, it's a limited series, so I can't get enough out of it, and you didn't give me enough. So it was interesting. And also the I in the I-land is also supposed to be a Roman numeral 1, so it's one land.
One land?
The one
Well,
land.
that's really stupid.
Very stupid, yes. They refer, because you learn this in the show when they go to Two Land, which is the second island, thus making the first one One Land.
They were trying to sound,
Netflix.
They were trying for it to be smart, so that when you watch the show, you're like, oh, I get it.
No, it was completely the opposite. I was like, that's dumb. It's just stupid. I was confused by this.
Netflix is just, I feel like they greenlit too many things.
This was definitely supposed to be like a Black Mirror episode that they thought they could stretch into a series, and then they're like, oh, we ran out of stuff to do. We just wanted to do a simulation on an island, and that, you know, like, because the premise is kind of cool if you think about that, you know, oh, what if death row prisoners are have their memories erased and put in a simulation? How will they act, right? Like, that's kind of an interesting premise.
Just kill them.
Like,
kill them.
Yeah, well, that's all that ends up happening, because when they kill somebody, then then they get killed by like the computer, by the simulation, sends somebody to kill them. So it's like, okay, so it's just all just people killing each other the whole time. But yeah, it had its interesting points, but overall, you guys don't need to watch it. That's why I didn't mind spoiling the whole thing for you. Yeah, so I watched that on Saturday, and then I spent Sunday watching the second season of The Chef Show, which is the Jon Favreau cooking show on Netflix.
Oh, it just came out, didn't it?
Yep, the second season just came out. The first season only came out earlier this year too, but they're very short. They're only 6 episodes each, or something like that. Very short season, but
just doubling down.
Yeah. Well, I think what it was is that he just enjoys doing this cooking stuff. Like, I think it started off as him just doing it as like not necessarily never intending a show to come out of it, but without a plan for a show. He just did some cooking stuff, recorded it because he got that kind of money, and he does it anyways. He was filming Lion
Jon
King while he was
fucking
exactly right. So it's like he's been filming Star Wars and Disney movies the last 5-10 years, and so it's like, okay, no, I get it. But yeah, no, I enjoy the show because he gets different celebrities, and then he goes to different like kind of, I don't want to say trendy, but kind of different like food places that kind of like popped off, if that makes sense. Like they kind of started different trends in a sense. Like the guy he pairs up with is the guy who kind of like re-sparked the food truck trend, or like one of the guys famous for kind of bringing that into the modern era, like called like the Twitter food truck, is this kind of referred to. But yeah, I just really enjoy it because it's like interesting to see, Jon Favreau learning about this stuff. Bill Burr was on like the first episode, which made me think that was probably more recently done. They also had like Seth Rogen on this season, so it's interesting to see that now it's kind of actually more of a real show, that they're trying to make it a little bit more like a cooking show as opposed to just them messing around, which I actually kind of preferred when they were just messing around, because I liked seeing Jon Favreau learn how to cook, because then I get to learn how to cook too. And I'm like we have probably about the same level of training, except he's better with a knife. But yeah, no, I just enjoyed it. And then I rewatched the first season just because I got through the second season so quickly, and because they're like 30-minute episodes, so like 6 of them, that's 3 hours. And I got to the last episode, and I'm like, damn it, I did this again. Forgot to watched it too quickly.
Yep.
So yeah, I watched those, and then the only other stuff I watched was I watched another season of Hell's Kitchen, because I'm still making my way through all the old seasons of that on Prime Video. I just like having that on and listening to Gordon Ramsay shout at people while I'm cooking and cleaning around my house. So, and it also helps like spark me wanting to actually cook different things as opposed to always having like chicken and steak. I'm like, well, maybe I'll have something different. Never do, but it makes me think about it. So, yep, still watching Hell's Kitchen. And then I'm still watching Stargate, of course, making my way through that. I just started on the 6th season, so I've got 4 more seasons after this, so 5 seasons still in total, halfway through the show. This season starts off after having just lost one of the original castmates, so this is the season I like the least. But he comes back next season, so I'm excited to get through this. But yeah, still watching Stargate, but that's all I watched this week.
We did it.
We did it.
We did the episode we said we were going to do.
We snuck it underneath the memory mark, I believe, on Craig's computer.
Well, I deleted a bunch of stuff. So.
Oh, since then? Okay.
It didn't matter anyway.
Fair enough. I was trying to get, I was like, that's why I got you go before me, because I was like, I know mine's short, and I can zip this out real quick if I need to.
No, I deleted a bunch of files. I didn't know what they were.
Okay. All right.
So
we could do a lengthy wrap up if we wanted to, but we never really do that.
Can.
Yeah, that's true. We just have these very abrupt and kind of awkward endings, like we're about to.
Bye.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
Bye, guys.